Hello, this is going to be part 1 of the 300 subscriber special, and we have a lot of engines to go over in this roster update, so let's start at the layout. We are just going to start on this end and work our way to the other end of the yard. So, starting here, we have E60978. It is a Bachmann. It is a newer tooled Bachmann unit, and it has an NC D13 inside of it because the original Bachmann decoder burnt out per usual. We have 655 here. It's a Bachmann Spectrum HHP8, and it has a lock pilot. No, this one has an older D13 in it, if I remember correctly. And it runs pretty good after I did some fiddling with it. If you guys want a video on that, please go ahead and let me know. This right here is Amtrak GP9776. It is an Atlas unit with tsunami sound in it. I can't remember which version. I think it's a little earlier for the tsunami stuff, but yep. It sounds pretty darn good for its time. And I like it. I really like the horn on that. This is the Cella Unit 2017. The way to get these running good is very similar to what you do for the HHPHs. So again, if you want a video on that, please go ahead and let me know. Both this and the dummy car over there have D13s inside of it. Actually, no, this one has a lock pilot. That one has a lock pilot inside of it. That one has a D13 inside of it. So yeah, that is that. Right here we have Bachmann Siemens Charger number 300, the class number. TCS sound, it sounds pretty good because TCS. Runs pretty solid. The Keep Alive is awesome. I like it a lot. This is Amtrak. Let me get on the other side of the leg here. This is Amtrak number 204. First run RTR P42. So I did have to custom install DCC myself, and this has so much weight added into it. It's actually heavier than a Genesis P42, than an Athearn Genesis P42. It is heavy. It's not much heavier than the Athearn Genesis P42, but it is heavier. And this one also has an NC D13 inside of it. This is a Walther's Trainline -8 number 510 that has an NCE DASR decoder inside of it, which is supposed to be like a drop-in decoder unit type thing. This is Athearn Blue Box, engine number 9, also a P42 in either phase 3 or phase 2. For me, it's hard to tell with this one for some reason. It has a custom light board inside of it, but it's not all that bright and it gets kind of hot, so it's a decent little engine. I got it for $50 with the Digitrax decoder inside of it. I believe I've swapped in an NCE decoder since then. But yeah, it was a solid deal at the time. Just realized that track cleaner car is up against the F40 there. So this is Walther's Trainline F40 number 398. It also has an NCE DASR decoder inside of it. It runs pretty decent. The plow is black instead of silver, which I still need to fix at some point, but that's that. Over here is Bachmann Spectrum F40PH number 346. And it has, I believe it's an NCE D13, and I modded the light board inside of it, so the headlight, the rear light, and the strobe lights are all isolated from each other. So all I had to do was after I isolated it, all I had to do was wire the wires to the board in all the separate spots. So the headlight works on its own, the rear light works on its own, and if I press the function 1 button, it turns on the strobe lights. Moving over to the next track here, we have AEM7 907 in the, if I remember correctly, the second run of Atlas AEM7s, the first time the Phase 5 was put into production, and it is the same color as the Phase 4 on these engines. So that's why that looks like a deeper blue, kind of purplish. It's they just got the color wrong. Some of these use a TCS X4 or whatever, and some of these use an NCE D14 SR or whatever they're called. Those are, I wanted to have all TCS decoders for the AEM7s, but I just could not keep finding the TCS ones. So some are TCS, some are NCE. They are all speed matched to each other. So MUing the AEM7s should not be a problem. This is number 921, and this is number 909. Here we have Siemens Charger made by Bachmann, number 607. It's got TCS sound in it. And this is the same story, except it is 642, so it is the Veterans Unit. Again, TCS sound in it. I believe that is it for the layout. So let's go ahead and head over to the shelves. I hope you grabbed your popcorn because we're about to settle in here. Let's get these cap cars done. This is a New Jersey Transit, quote, Comet 1, I believe, or maybe Comet 2 or something like that. I was told what these comets are, quote, closest to when it comes to the range of various comets. I already forgot which one. It's the one with the little funky bunny ears on the side, along with the strobes. So that's that. I think it's an okay looking customization job on my part. It's not great by any means. Could have been color matched a little better, but gets the idea across. So we have the New Jersey Transit cab car. We have the SEPTA cab car. We have my 3 Keystone cab cars. These 2 were mostly finished up by my uncle 35 years ago, something like that. And I cosmetically finished them by adding the diaphragms and the light bars. This is almost the exact same story, except it was someone off of eBay. He only got 1 mostly done. He was originally going to do 5, but only 1 happened. These 2 are made out of Bachmann Metroliner dummies. This one is an Amfleet with the face added onto it. If you look on the bottom there. Actually, correction, it is a Metroliner shell put on an Amfleet chassis. There we go. That's what it is. Okay. And then this one already had the diaphragm, but I did add the light bar myself. This one, Mark double-decker cab car number 8050, is a complete custom job by someone in my train club. It's got, can't really see it from this angle, but it has Mark along the side. All of these holes are custom cut for the windows and such. Also has a horn right there. Very awesome job by Brian. Very happy to have that set of 4, along with 2 more Mark cars that'll come out to play at the Railroad Museum. Here we have Amtrak Metroliner 885, and this has a TCS decoder inside of it. Just DC, no, or sorry, just DCC, no sound. There we go. This is a Atlas AEM7 unnumbered. It will be programmed to 928. I had a decoder in it for about a year and a half, up until the other Phase 4 AEM7s came about, and the decoder got robbed out of this one. I still need to get a decoder for 928 here, but that'll happen eventually. Here we have Amtrak AEM7 Phase 3, number 901. This one has, I believe, an NCE decoder in it now. We have a Bachmann retooled 971 here with, again, I believe it's an NCD13. Again, the Bachmann decoder burnt out on these. If you buy a Bachmann DCC decoder, I really recommend swapping it out with something else because their decoders can be a pain to work with. Here we have Walther's Trainline 519. Same story with this. DASR decoder inside of it. This one, surprisingly, actually came with a Digitrax decoder in it while I was still running DC. So that was an interesting surprise once I went to put DCC into it. Oh, it already has one. This is an Operations Lifesaver Amtrak F40PH number 231. Another Walther's Trainline, again with a DASR decoder. This is Amtrak Lifelike Proto 1000 RDC Amtrak Phase 1 number 36. This guy has, I want to say, a D13 inside of it, and also has custom car lights added by me. This is SEPTA AM7, number 2305, another Atlas unit, I think with an NCE decoder. Roads are pretty good. This is a Redbird, I forget what exact subway car. I have 3 coaches to go along with it. It has an NCD13 inside of it, if I remember correctly. And then this Susquehanna 4006 here was originally a flip project. I bought it for like 20 bucks, was gonna throw a decoder in it and then flip it at Timonium. It never made it to Timonium. I added an exhaust firelight to it, and I just like Susquehanna in general, so it just kind of stayed, and it also has custom work with the cosmetic only beacon there and the pilot. So I couldn't do it. I still can't do it, so it is in the collection and it is staying there, and I'm currently trying to find a locomotive to go with it that isn't an outrageous price. So, time for the Norfolk Southern shelf, except for the imposter there, but we'll get to him. Is there anything back there? No. Okay, alright. We will start oldest first. So, here we have an Athearn Blue Box River Street Rambler. I think it has a D13 inside of it. It is very cramped in there. If I remember correctly, I had a Penn Central Blue Box engine that I sacrificed the handrails and chassis for, along with the bell and horns, to fit this shell onto it. So yeah, if you wondered where the cab on the layout came from, that is what happened to it. So yeah, that is the River Street Rambler. Moving on to the GP15 here. It is a patched, quote, patched Conrail GP15 1651. It is patched to be for NS, so I'm just gonna say this for both of these. They have NCE DASRs inside of them, and these two run real nice with each other. This one was a recent one. This shell is actually my dad's from 30 years ago, when I had found that train box when I was like 11 years old or something like that. It was only a shell, and again, while I was trying to make a flip locomotive for Timonium, I came across a GP35. That was a different road. I completely forgot what it is at this point. But it turned out to be a Proto 2000 shell, or chassis, I mean. So naturally, I had to put this body onto it. It's got both of these headlights working, even though that wasn't on the prototype, but you know, it is what it is. Very happy with it. I think I still need to program its speed steps to work with the GP15s, which is what I would pair it with, but other than that, I really like it. This is an Atlas Norfolk Southern GP38-2 number 5350, and it didn't come with a horn, so I put a blue one on there because I felt like it. And that has a, I want to say it has, yes, it has an NCD13 because I recently had to swap a decoder in it. out of it for reasons. So yeah, that has an NCD13 inside of it. Still needs to be programmed, the speed steps. This is Athearn Blue Box Norfolk Southern 6529. It is a patched Conrail unit, as you can see. Likely another NCED13. This is also an NCED13 here. Athearn Blue Box Norfolk Southern number 6078. Both these are SD40-2s. This is a Proto 2000 SD50 number 6513. It has an ESU lock pilot inside of it. What else we got here? Plenty of stuff. This is my first DCC locomotive. It is a Bachmann GP50. The decoder burnt out of it a long time ago. So I just wired it for straight DC because that's what I had at the time, and eventually it found itself back with DCC with an NCD13 inside of it. And yeah, just really happy to still have this thing and it still be running. It runs really well with the GP38. I love that combo. It is my only Norfolk Southern high hood, and yeah, very, very happy about it. Very happy about that. Athearn Blue Box Operation Lifesaver Norfolk Southern GP60, again with a D13 inside of it. A fictional Conrail GP60M patched number 4500. Basically, my headcanon for that guy is there was a credit given to Conrail if they tested the GP60M. While they didn't exactly like them, they did keep the one lone unit, and then during the split, Norfolk Southern took them because they already had some GP60s. Next is a Proto 2000 SD60. This one has some sort of TCS decoder inside of it, not exactly sure what kind. Honestly, haven't really opened it up to check. This is a Conrail, no, sorry, this is a Norfolk Southern. There's a lot of engines here and my brain's getting a little confused. This is a Norfolk Southern SD60M number 6775. It has an ESU lock pilot inside of it. And yeah, this was my first Norfolk Southern 6-axle. It's a pretty decent locomotive. Here is a Bachmann Spectrum -8 Spartan cab number 8667. And basically, the reason this is here is because I got it for a whopping $27. So I threw a lock pilot in it, did some conversion things, and it runs surprisingly well. It also has an exhaust fire LED. So yeah, pretty much all of my older GEs, except for the Amtrak ones, are gonna have exhaust fire LEDs because I can. If you just press function 1, it'll start blinking away in there. This is a Kato SD9043 Max CEFX number 118. Technically, when Amtrak had, no, sorry, when Norfolk Southern got their hands on them to do the AECU rebuilds, this guy was in a blue scheme, not a maroon scheme, but we're gonna ignore that for now. This has an NCED13 inside of it, and yeah, it runs pretty decent. I would also like to say that the SD60, well, the SD50, and then the 60 onward, all these engines are programmed at the same speeds. So any one of these, what's that, 6, 7 can be MU'd together and they will work just fine. Alright, so this is an Intermountain ES44 8091. It is the first run of Intermountain tooling, so it's pretty darn light, but it looks really nice, has a lot of detail, it has correct headlights and such. As light as it is, I am very happy to have this ES44. Fun fact about 8091, it is the first unit delivered of the third batch of GEVOs for Norfolk Southern. Here we have ET44 number 3600, again from Intermountain. This is the second tooled version, so these run a lot better and a lot heavier. And of course, this is the class number for ET44s. Back here, we have CSX SD40-2, 8905. That is a Bachmann engine. Still has the stock decoder. Gonna have to swap it out at some point. And at some point, I'd also like to have, another CSX engine to go with it. One of these is powered. The other one is a dummy. The one that is powered has an NCE-D13 inside of it. The dummy is just a dummy. I would like to get a replacement chassis for the dummy so that they're both powered, but that'll happen at some point. Yeah, we'll start this way and work our way over. So, New Jersey Transit E60. It's an American GK model, and I bought it as a dummy for 40 bucks, and it's taken a lot of work to get it to where it is, but it does run. It runs okay, and yeah, very happy to have that. This is a Bachmann Spectrum New Jersey Transit F40PH number, I believe it's 4116. This has the same light board mod to where these strobe lights turn on with function button 1. This is a 2018 run Alice AM7 4939 with DCC and sound, along with the beacon lights and such, and the number on it is 4939. So, in my head canon, that is a heritage unit for Mark, because since it's in the 4900 series. So yeah, if you look at my last video, you will see this guy's debut, and very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. So that has an ESU lock sound inside of it, I believe, and then this 4900 here has, I believe, a NCE decoder inside of it. This is a Mark HHP8, as you can kind of see there. It is unfinished. The guy who was doing it had it as a shelf display, so this side is still Amtrak. The number is currently 650, but I would like to reprogram it to something a little more Mark appropriate. This has a lock pilot inside of it. Here we have a Penn Central GG1 by Bachmann, number 4853. The Bachmann GG1s run wonderfully. They truly do, and they do not look that bad either. Just if you're gonna get one, I would really recommend getting a DC one and then slapping a decoder inside of it, because this Bachmann decoder, even though it is sound, the sound is junk, the decoder is junk, and it runs like garbage. But if you get the DC one and slap a decoder inside of it, it'll run perfect for you. So that's my recommendation for those. This is two Bachmann Spectrum E33s, one in Penn Central, one in New Haven. Both of them have ESU lock pilots inside of them. This is two Western Maryland BL2s, number 81 and 82, the first and second runs of the BL2 Proto 2000s. There is also a Mahano SD40-2 Western Maryland engine back there that has an NCE D13 and a Bachmann Spectrum motor. I motor swapped it. It runs way too good for a Mahano. These two also have D13s inside of them. This is a Proto 1000 Erie built, and it has, I want to say, a D13 inside of it. Swapped the headlight, added a horn on there because it didn't have one. I freaking love this Erie built. These are two Bachmann, no, not Bachmann, Lifelike Proto 2000 E8s. Between 3 NCE D13 decoders, these 3 engines, and replacement axles for these guys. I spent a total of $200 to get these 3 engines running with DCC. $200 for all these. It was for these 3. It was a stupid good deal, and I will probably never be able to pull that off again. This right here is one of my bucket list locomotives. This is a custom kit bashed shell for a Pennsylvania Railroad Baldwin BP20. It is fit onto a DL109 chassis, and it runs very well with an NCE D13. Oh, I love it. It is absolutely awesome. It is huge, and I have pictures of it with 4 P70s behind it, so I don't even need to get a second unit. This is a Bachmann RF16, still with the stock Bachmann DCC decoder. That and the B unit there, I really need to swap D13s into. Back there is a Proto 2000 Pennsylvania Road FA2. It has, I want to say, a Digitrax decoder in it at the moment. This is a Pennsylvania Railroad K4 Bachmann Spectrum and has an 8-pin decoder in the tender. Believe it's a lock pilot, and it runs pretty darn well now after I've done some modifications to it. Fairly happy with that. And then a Seaboard Airlines Bachmann Spectrum 210-2. That has a stock Digitrax decoder inside of it, which runs okay. And then we have the Conrail set down here. These are the last 4. We have an Atlas Penn Central 6545 that has some sort of TCS decoder inside of it. We have a Bachmann Spectrum Reading GP30, which has an NCE D13 inside of it. We have a Conrail U33C, that's a U36C, U33C 6886. It has some weird Digitrax drop-in decoder inside of it. It works, and that's what matters to me, because all 4 of these are speed matched together, so they are good for whatever configuration. And then this is a Penn Central Cato SD40-2, number 6093, with an NCE D13 decoder inside of it. So there you have it, all 61 locomotives. If you count cab cars, that's 6 more. So that's what, 67 cab units, if you will. So yeah, that is that. Hope you enjoy part 2, which is coming out next, and that'll be about the layout itself. See you guys later. Like and subscribe. Join the Discord. Hope you have a good one.